Hi, it's What If Wednesday time with Susan Bennett Fisher and Martin Fisher, the co-founders of Body of Nine. What if you knew how to integrate Body of Nine into your coaching or your holistic practice? What would that do to your ability to deliver your healing to your clients? That's what we're going to talk about today.
Okay. So this is a new subject. This is something that most of the people watching may or may not be interested in, but I offer that watching this, even if you're not a coach, even if you're not a holistic practitioner, you may find that this is really can be quite interesting because it may guide you to actually go find and talk to a coach that is aware or is certified by Body of Nine.
Yes.
Reason being that, again, I think most people that are watching this are interested in growing, changing, and becoming more of who they could be. And while it is absolutely feasible to do it on your own, it's like learning how to play tennis. If you really want to learn how to play tennis, you're going to go and find a coach that knows how to play tennis.
Yes. So for you individuals who are watching who aren't healing practitioners, no worries, you're still going to get something out of this conversation.
Yes.
So the reason that it's important is there's a fundamental assumption that we're all basically the same. We have the same organs, the same way of being, physical way of being. Now, different things happen to us, but at the core, we're all fundamentally the same in terms of how our perceptions work and the way our bodies work.
And in fact, there's a fair size of business where people are trying to convince you that people are different. So if you want to become a salesperson, first thing they're going to teach you is what everyone wants is going to be different. And if you're a natural number 5, you may say, well, I know everyone's different. But actually, as it turns out, they're different in very well-defined ways. And even as 5s, there's an element of, yes, well, there's still people in these buckets. So people aren't the same.
Right. And what Body of Nine gives you as a practitioner or a coach is an understanding of how do I, shortcut and create relationship much more quickly and much more easily.
How can I be heard better?
Right. How do you validate who this person in front of you is, your client, in a way that they feel seen and understood? How do you offer them healing that's appropriate for where their body is activated?
And also, how do you learn what their nature is versus the nurture that they're holding on to that may not be serving them?
Right. So we're born with a specific set of attributes, which includes skills and gifts and our movement, our physical way of being. And
skills and gifts there? Okay, sorry.
What?
I thought you said gills and gifts, and I was like, ooh.
No, skills.
Okay.
Anyway, so you have this set of skills, gifts, and ways of being that come with your body. And over time, through nurture, you learn more. You build more skills, you build more understanding. If you're consciously bringing in the understanding of the 9 natural numbers as a coach or as a holistic practitioner, you're going to be able to understand which ones come with your client's body and which ones are learned. You're going to help them be able to separate the nurture and the nature so that you can help them get back to the nature, which is the fundamental part of who we are. So you help your clients to truly understand what was nurtured out of them by the world around them over the course of their lives.
So let me give you a simple example. As a coach, there's probably some practices and methodologies that you've learned that you really resonate with. It's like, wow, I really get this, and I don't see how other people don't see the real value of this. And there's other things that are out there that it's like, well, yeah, I can see why it's useful for some people, but it's not my thing. Well, your clients are exactly the same way.
Yes.
There's going to be things that they resonate with, and they're going to be things that they don't resonate with.
Or they're going to do them in unexpected ways.
Yes, and part of the dance of meeting a client and bringing them on board where you can help them is knowing, well, do you relate? Can you get on? Do you think there's actually going to be a match? Can you help that person? And their view is, well, can this person help me? This helps that dance.
Right, so it helps you get clients more easily, build a relationship more quickly, and then accelerate the transformation process in your relationship with your clients. And a good example, going back to Martin's example, there's a future self-visualization skill that's taught in many of the coaching programs. It's one of my favorite. But if you look at all the different ways that people actually do that. Some people have a really hard time visualizing. Some people have an easy time traveling out into all sorts of realms and listening to their guides and doing those. Those are, interestingly, many of those aspects are natural number specific. And certain things are easier, like a visualization exercise is going to be easier for certain natural numbers than others. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do them with everybody, but your results will be different.
And so another example in our experience, we've the last few weeks had some very powerful visualizations with a practitioner that is actually really, really good at doing visualizations. However, no matter how good he is at doing visualizations and doing guided meditations, he's not a natural number 7. And if he'd known that by activating his natural number 7, he could be that much even amazingly more powerful, and he's already a very powerful human being.
Well, it just would be different.
It would be different, but I think...
he's a 5, and he takes you on a framework kind of a journey.
Yes.
Whereas if you were a 7, and you knew you were a 7 as a coach, and you were leading a visualization, you lead a very different visualization.
Yes. The other side of it is that he was the same natural number, he is the same natural number that I was aware of the missing ingredient. It's like you get this amazing soup, but you know that there's something just to make it that better soup. And so part of the gift that you as a coach that understands and practices Body of 9 can give is that you can use the most powerful part of your body for the work that you're doing at that particular
You can
instant.
choose. That's the cool thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And also you can bring the 7 in for a certain part of it or whatever you want to do. So you become very creative in your ability to use the tools that you've been taught in coaching school. So this makes you an extra special, amazingly tailored coach for all clients. You start to be able to be with all kinds of people, even the people that were maybe more uncomfortable for you, or more unfamiliar.
Or using techniques that used to be more uncomfortable. This is literally giving you an extra dimension of 8 other different ways for you to be powerful in your coaching career.
Or your holistic practitioner career. But we have one music therapist we've started to work with, and she's exploring vibration with music and how does vibration affect us in terms of how we store trauma. And she's looking into how do I integrate the understanding of the 9 physiologically different kinds of people in that process, because it's going to actually be different. They vibrate in different parts of the body. They take in the vibrational energy of the world in a different way. And so starting to understand that is giving her so many more tools with her music to actually show up and try different things. So whatever your modality is, whether it's Reiki, there's a lot of 5s out there that are Reiki masters.
That's
actually,
because we have the power.
You guys basically have this amazing ability built into your body to empathetically feel what a person needs. But that doesn't mean you have to be a 5 to be a Reiki master. There's 9s. All natural numbers do Reiki.
But
they do it differently.
Yes, I'd be interested to see for the natural numbers that are not 5s that are doing Reiki, whether by activating their 5, it changes their experience of Reiki. We're still in the research part of that one.
Right, and we are looking for partners. We are looking for people who want to explore their modality with our modality in conjunction to see what else is possible. How can we accelerate healing? How can we accelerate self-acceptance and self-love? How can we help people even define what self-love is? Yeah. What we see for our clients, our coaches' clients, is they get to truly be honored at their authentic level of their nature. And that is an important key to loving yourself, because this is the part that most people both love and also have had negated over the course of their lives. I remember when I found out my natural number, it was the most powerful moment probably of my whole life, to feel that it's okay and it's important
to be you,
for me to be a powerful woman. And that comes with my body, and not to apologize for it.
And I was lucky enough to find out through a different sort of experience that who I wanted to be was me, because I was given that opportunity. Who do you want to be, Martin? Be anybody you want. And it turns out I want to be me, which is awesome too. And that was a different path. And
right, but you were already
full
in your 5-ness when that happened. Yes. And you had been doing this work for several years before. And sometimes we don't attribute those big changes to this context.
Yeah.
but they are always more powerful in this
and the
context.
way that the people react to their assessment of their natural number very much depends by the natural number.
It's true. Five's usually like, well, yeah, okay, duh.
I knew that. So what?
But
it does make a difference.
it still makes a difference. Once you learn to consciously create the activation in your body, you now have a physical way to continue to access your power. And as a coach, you have a way to give your client a way to recover so quickly. So if you can see that they're becoming unpresent, their observer's not present, not showing up. We talked about observer in our What If Wednesday last week. If they're not being present, they can't make choices to respond differently out in the world. So one of the tools as a coach that is so powerful about Body of Nine is helping your client get present instantaneously.
Yeah, and the other part of this is also knowing what potentially has to be altered, what the methodology has to be altered slightly to work with people of a particular natural number. And in this particular case, I'm going to point out to the somatic theory. Because if you try and work on somatic experiencing with a natural number 4, they're going to respond very differently than you expect, because you're not going to get there fast enough for them.
Right. Well, yeah, it's an interesting thing. We've had several number 4s who did the somatic experiencing, and they're like, well, duh, because 4 is all about going deep. It's all about what emotions am I feeling? How do I use my body to process it? Which is really a lot of what a somatic experiencing is teaching. There's a lot more there, of course, but or if you try to do it with a 6, for example, I'm like, well, what do you mean slow down, change? You can't change the pace of energy. Yes. I can't be a 6 responding to the pace of energy and try to change that energy.
But she can activate 4.
I can.
And get in touch with there.
Yeah.
So
you can modify.
You can modify.
And you can integrate these little exercises, these understanding of the natural numbers.
Because as I said, it is literally another dimension to what you do.
Right.
Another example, looking at the self-help books out there, as it turns out, as far as we can tell, people resonate with about 1/9 of the work that's out there, because it's written in words they understand and communicates directly to their natural self.
Right. So if you're out there teaching modality, you're doing it your way. If you look at professional sports, for example, and let's say you're coaching somebody in professional sports, which is a different kind of coach than we've been talking about, if you actually don't understand your athlete's natural number, and you try to get them to do things the way you discovered you could do them, you will actually probably be doing them a disservice.
Yes. They're not going to be able to be their best possible self unless they're moving.
Or they happen to have your natural number.
Well, yes.
Then it will work for them.
It'll work great, yes.
Yeah. And it's really challenging. We have a friend that was coaching a natural number 2 speed cyclist. Well, natural number 2 is activated right here. So she actually had to get that up and lifted to go fast. But aerodynamically, that's
not good.
That's not bad. Yeah, it's really not good. So how do you get that part of the body up and lifted while you're in a crouched down position? The head types have a huge advantage in speed cycling.
And just
because they can easily get their heads down and forward.
Just as 3s have a huge advantage, and it requires upper body strength.
Right.
So, and that's not to say you can't be a successful whatever based on whatever your natural number is, but
you don't see a lot harder. Yeah, you don't see a lot of natural number 8 rock climbers.
No.
Most natural number most rock climbers are activated in the upper part of the body.
3s and 7s.
Or the back.
Yeah.
Well, 1s, 3s, 7s, 5s aren't usually crazy enough to do that kind of thing.
Well, the problem with that is it doesn't matter.
Anyway,
let's not get
we don't make
numbers.
no generalizations. Those are dangerous.
Yes. So, but the point is that we each have an innate superpower, if you will. And as a coach, knowing that and responding and
supporting
and
honoring
that superpower, that natural number-based innate capability that is so easy. The difference is night and day is how easy it is.
Right. If you want to astound your clients with your ability to see them and support them, knowing their natural number and what that means will completely change how you coach. Whether you're a physical coach, whether you're a holistic practitioner, whether you're a leadership coach,
dancing coach, a singing coach.
Without understanding the natural number, you have to just either intuit, guess, trial and error, asking questions, but it takes so much time to elicit what we could tell you about your client from a look.
Yeah. And so there are probably people listening to this thinking, well, the theory says we should be helping people overcome their deficiencies. And there's another set of theories that came along well after that that says, okay, never mind people's deficiencies, we should be helping people get better at what they're good at. We subscribe very much more to the let's help people be better at what they're good at.
Yes, absolutely.
Because there's many of us that thought, I wish that I could naturally play guitar. I wish that I could naturally become a surgeon. And 10,000 hours later, yes, we become good at whatever it is we do. But there's always these things that we can do that we're good at that other people aren't. Whether it's learning how to cycle, whatever it is.
We call them talents.
We call them talents, but
there's a lot. There are specific talents associated with your natural number, and understanding them is just such a great shorthand for how do I support you. Like with Martin, I know that for example, I've got a shorthand with him. If he's condescending to me, I've hurt his feelings. It's a great shorthand to have. If he goes, if you're sitting there with your client and there are 5 and all of a sudden they get condescending, you went off base somewhere with them.
If you're a relationship coach, being able to explain the common, and by common I mean almost stereotypical issues that occur between two natural numbers.
Right.
It's always the same. The thing
so I want to clarify that a little bit.
Do.
Any two combinations have common positive things and common negative things. So if you take the 5, 6 and you put it together, what's that like? If you take 1 and 3, and what is that like? So we can give you a shorthand for your relationship coaching that can help you really reconnect people very quickly.
And making that even more complex is because we are often, if not always, attracted to natural number energies that we're familiar with, aka our parents. We often end up in relationship with people with the same natural number as our parents. And then you don't just have the peer or however you want to call it, the direct relationship. You're also dealing with echoes of their relationship and your relationship with that number, which is your parent. So
it can really complicate relationships.
It really can complicate.
So we fall in love with a person of a natural number we're familiar with, but then we bring all of the baggage and the perpetual problems that we had with people of that natural number into the relationship. So in relationship coaching, we can save a marriage really fast because of this.
Right. And we do.
Yeah, we do actually. And so we can help people reconnect, and we can help coaches teach their people how to reconnect much more quickly.
And that's not to say that we bill ourselves as long-term relationship coaches. We're not.
No, we ourselves are not coaches. We're coaches of
you're
coaches.
A trained coach.
Well, I'm a trained coach, yes. And we individually coach when we identify a person. We give them the information we can sense they need to hear.
Yes, and that is one of the things that we're really good at. We've worked with 8,000 people. We've worked with people almost every combination, and having worked with thousands of couples of each natural number and being able to tell them, because of my capabilities as a 5 and Susan's as a 6, what it is they're working through, it gets them started, and then we'd love to hand them off to people like you.
Right.
That understand both the ins and outs of doing really good and deep and healthy and healing relationship coaching, but also with the understanding of who they are at their most basic level.
Right. So Body of 9 is a shorthand. It's an accelerator. It's a deepener.
It's an extra dimension.
Another dimension to everything that you do, your awareness of who you are as a coach, and awareness of where your client's starting from or where you're wanting to get them back to.
Yes.
Nature and nurture. Nurture takes us away from these great and powerful strengths within us. And I think at some level, so many people are dying to get connected back to who they were.
We would love to help you astound your clients.
Yes, we would. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next week.